Continuing with Excel VBA, I'd like to talk today about HTML. Well, what is HTML? HTML is loads of angle brackets. Let me explain what I mean. We have here the Mozilla browser, Firefox in other words, which is a browser. Now a browser is a thing which presents HTML. What do I mean by that? Well, if I take a look here, if I go to Tools and then Web Developer and then take a look at Page Source. Now this is HTML. So this is the stuff which is behind the web page. This basically is a set of instructions to the browser in a way to render the web page, to make it appear so you can read it. So that if you take a look here, it says up the top HTML, and you'll find at the very bottom of this, I won't bother, but at the very bottom of this you'll find a / HTML as well, which is the end of the HTML. You've got a head here, you see, and then end of head. And here, now this is the easy one to follow because it's got the title, which is the title which appears at the very start of the web page, which is up here, as a matter of fact. So all of those are instructions, HTML instructions, to make a web page using a browser. Now that's fairly complicated HTML. I'm going to show you a very simple bit of HTML. So I'm going to start my notepad because this is HTML. Now HTML is just text. That's all it is, text. It's a text, like it's a set of instructions to the printer, if you like. If you're going down to the print shop and you like to take your instructions on the printer how to lay out your document, this is the same sort of thing, only it's the browser here that we're using to render the HTML. So here I've got head and end head. So when you have these opening tags, you'll normally have a closing tag as well, which has got the /. Then you've got the text that wants to be printed, but along with that you've got this stuff here, which this is telling an instruction to tell it to be bold. So you're saying hello has to be printed on the web page in bold. So let me save this bit of HTML, and I'll save it on the desktop so I know where to find it, and I'll just call it, say, test.html. and if you're using Notepad you need to use inverted commas, otherwise it'll stick the text on the end of it. So I'll put that onto the desktop and save it onto the desktop. Okay, and now I'm going to close that. Now I can see my test HTML down here at the bottom left. So what I'm going to do is try and open that document from the browser. So here I go, File, and then open the file, and then I need to browse to the desktop, and there it is there. And so if I now open that, you'll see that it's been displayed. Now there you are. That's an example of using HTML inside to be rendered inside this browser, which happens to be Firefox. Indeed, I actually might go and take a look at that HTML. If I go once again to Tools and then Web Developer and then look at Page Source once again. Now there you are, and it's nicely color-coded for me as well. This is the code which is behind the web page to render the page. How do we actually convert Excel text into HTML, and why would we want to do that? Well, there is one reason, that if you want to send an HTML email, then it must be an HTML form. So if you want to take data from the Excel spreadsheet and put it into an HTML email, you must convert it to HTML first. So let's convert some some Excel text into HTML. We could, for example, take this bit of text here, Mr., and we want to convert that into an HTML. Well, the term for changing it into HTML, converting an HTML, is called to publish. And here is the code here. It is telling us that we're going to pick up some text from this sheet which is named HTML, and we're going to pick it up from the cell cell A1. So the name of this sheet here is HTML, and you can see A1 has got that bit of text called Mr. take a look now. Here we've got the word publish objects, and that does all the work for us really. It converts, well, in fact this is the method here which converts the text into HTML. So we can take a look at all of that code. Perhaps I could just show it to you, space underscore enter, so we can just see all the code at once. And you'll notice that now this range send, which is also here, range send address, is where it's coming from. We've discussed that, but here HTML file is where it's going to be stored. So I'm choosing to store it on my C drive, and that's the name of the HTML file. It could be HTML as well as HTM. So let's just see if that works and produces our HTML file. So I'll take the design off and then click that, and something's happened. So I need to go to the local disk C and take a look and see if I can find my file. And there it is, HTML file with an Excel logo actually. So what I'll do is just open that, and then I can see it has been rendered